Hello, another week has passed and today I'm back at Lake Biwa, which is there behind me. Although this time, instead of filming by the actual beach, so to speak, I went up a hill, kind of like Jack and Jill, although it's not just a little bit of, not all the way, but a little bit. Funnily enough, just beside me here is a love hotel called Feel the North or something. And I just went in there to borrow a toilet because I really needed one. And what I saw in there led me to deduce that, yeah, this is probably a love hotel. So yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, Lake Biwa. I was partly I just like I don't like shooting. I don't like doing these videos at home in my room. I want to be somewhere. But on the other hand, I don't want to stand somewhere in full view of a bunch of people. So Biwa works out fine. And this whole week has pretty much been studying. We've had a lot of tests in school this week. Monday and Tuesday was fine, but then Wednesday, Thursday was midterms, and Friday was just a regular test. On Wednesday we had the reading comprehension test, and we had to make a speech. On Thursday we had listening comprehension, and we had a kanji test. And on Friday we just had a regular test. Listening, I think both listening and reading went okay, and the achievement test also okay. I'm hoping I get over 80. That's pretty much it. The kanji test was interesting just because I had a streak going. I had 3 in a row, 300s in a row, and this time I got 95. And my result reminded me of bowling. Why bowling, you may ask? Well, in my life, a few times I've gotten 3 strikes in a row, but I could never get a 4th. And I always wanted to get a 4th just to get it, and because a strike is a strike, right? Second, you have a double, and then you have a turkey. What's number 4? I don't know. I have no idea what the name is, and I haven't looked it up either, because I want to get one, but I never get one. So it's like I got 300s in a row here with the kanji test, and then I got 95. And the reason that I got the 95 is annoying because I knew the kanji. It was just the fact that, first of all, when I did the test, I was a bit nervous. So my lines were not straight. So one I redid, like I did the kanji correctly, and then I erased it to draw it again, and then I forgot 2 lines, 2 small lines in the kanji for teeth or tooth or whatever is ha. Forgot 2 lines, which means that little part was a tree instead of rice, which means the kanji is wrong, and I got deducted 5 points. Similarly annoying, because that annoys me the hell out of me when it happens on tests when I just go retarded just in the middle of doing a test or homework. Last term it was more forgetting the handakten. And this is not a quotation mark, by the way, but it just kind of looks like those. Anyway, this term has been more like we have this part where we take words from a list, from like a whatever list, and put them into these sentences. And in the little description, they have this. They say, write the kanji, the words in hiragana only. Because they don't have furigana, so we're supposed to know those. So they're supposed to, know the whole sentence structure and knowing those kanjis at the same time. But then I forget that, and I just write the kanji anyway. Because why didn't I read it? And the other one is when there was this thing where we're supposed to, with 5 different lines, we're supposed to change the end of the sentence to this kind of thing. And then I did it for the first 2 times, and then I just forgot about it or something. For the last 3, I did it the wrong way. I mean, it's, both are grammatically correct or whatever. It said in the examples, you're supposed to do it this way. And I just forgot about it midway, which is really annoying. That shouldn't have... I missed 5 points. I got 85 instead of 90, which I could have gotten, which is just for shame. Other than school this week, the coolest thing was yesterday, actually. I went to Hirakata Park, where because I saw like a couple of weeks ago when I was at a Keihan station, that there was going to be a Mega Man 30th anniversary festival thing. So I went to this Hirakata Park where they had it. Unfortunately, I had to pay to get into the park, even though it's like a rainy day, and I wasn't, I didn't want to go there to ride rides or anything. I just wanted to buy Mega Man merchandise and see what they had there. So I had to buy an entrance ticket for 1,400, and then I had to pay 800 for a ticket into the actual thing, which was just one room. It was fine, but it was just one room. It wasn't like a huge thing. But I paid 800. I could have paid 500, but I paid 800 to get a tote bag, which of course I had to get. And then there was some pictures on the wall. There was this message board which I wrote on, and here's my message. There was like this Mega Man timeline on the wall, which was pretty cool. And I know when I looked at it, it was like the sad part was looking at 2012 to 2018, like nothing. It was just a big gap. And 2012 was Rockman X Over, or Rockman Crossover, which I don't consider a real game. That was like a slap in the face to Mega Man fans, really. They thought it wasn't, but it was. So the real stop of Mega Man was Mega Man 10, which was in 2010. So it was really an 8-hour wait. And that factored into what I just wrote on my message there. It was the first day of the whole thing, so in a way I want to go back when it's almost going to close and to see how the whole message board looks. But I don't know. I don't want to really pay to get into the park. On the other hand, if it's like a nice weather and stuff, maybe. But I don't know. At the park, by the way, they had this roller coaster called the Red Falcon, which is just a regular cool name, I guess. But to me, that means Contra, because the vile Red Falcon, of course, is the villain of the Contra games. Besides selling merch and just having a few pictures up and stuff, they also had, that was pretty much the event. You had to have a smartphone and you scan some kind of QR code, maybe you download an app or something, then you walk around the park looking for like virtual treasure boxes, and you try to find this master chip or something. It's kind of Battle Network themed. Not really my thing, but I saw some people were there doing it. 2 girls too, actually, not just guys. Oh, and they had this cool case with a bunch of Mega Man games in it. And they they even had PC versions of X3, 4, 5, and 8. Although they didn't have 6, because I knew X6 also, it's elusive, but it exists on PC. And they didn't have some others too. They had a couple WonderSwan games, but they didn't have Rockman EXEWS. They didn't have Rockman Strategy, which I think only came out in Korea or something. On the timeline there, they didn't mention the WonderSwan games, as I recall. I don't think they had the Neo Geo Pocket Color one either. And they didn't have the Mega Man 1 and 3 for PC, but, those are awful anyway, so that's fine by me. Outside the event thing was like the event manager or something. And I talked to him a bit, and I asked him first if he works for Capcom, but he doesn't. But apparently he goes to their office quite a few times because he has dealings with them, obviously. And then we just talked in general a little bit about Mega Man, and then it was cool. He took a picture of me outside the entrance with this Mega Man cutout thing, and I held up my little brochure thing, and he said he was going to show it to people in the Capcom office to show that here's a fan from Sweden who came all this way, kind of. So that's pretty cool, and I'm going to be checking Twitter now to see if I show up in some kind of Capcom of Japan tweet or something. Yeah, Mega Man, very dear to my heart, near and dear to my heart. He is my second favorite game character after Mario, and I grew up with Mega Man. Most of the games are actually quite good. So yeah, that was cool stuff. And the merch I bought was this. I bought this very nice Mega Man clear, well, not clear, but plastic folder. So I can put my papers in. It's quite nice. I actually like this side better than this side. I got these E-Tank candies, which actually I did try one. They didn't taste bad, but they didn't taste as good as I hoped. They sort of lacked a little bit of fwung or whatever. They should have had a little bit more mint in it or something. I don't know. They were okay though. I got this thingy that you hang on something. It's me. It says Blues, which of course that's his name in Japan. Oh, yeah, it's I gotta get this. But last of the Mega Man things that I got was this energy tank or energy can. It's a drink. It's some kind of soda, I guess. I haven't actually tried it yet, but I will at some point. But I will keep the can because it's an energy can. get it? It's awesome. There was also like a way bigger one that was like it had some kind of chocolate cookies inside, but I limited myself to just this. Pretty awesome. So yeah, that's pretty much it. What happened this week? And before we go back home to look at games and stuff, next week will be nothing special that I can think of exactly. Well, we have to make another speech next week, and we have to do it. The chapter that it's related to makes us apparently have to do a speech about results of data from like a survey or something, which sounds really, really tricky. I don't know how that's going to work. Hopefully we get served with some kind of data so we don't have to just pull data out of our ass to do that thing. But speeches are never fun, because I get like this doki doki sensation going on, and I like my voice goes a little like quivery, and when I'm like thinking about stuff, I look up in the ceiling, and like you're supposed to like look at the people in the eyes and stuff. But yeah, we get the results of the tests, of course, which is always nerve-wracking. On Thursday we have counseling. Well, I have counseling anyway. It started like this week, but that's this like in the middle of the school term. We have the sit-down talk with the teacher, the main teacher, and just talking about how we feel it's going, and if it's how it's going. It's pretty general, I would say. But yeah, that'll be good, I guess. And on Friday there's the next school trip, which is this time to a place I forgot the name of already. It's not that far. It's on a subway line. Apparently we're going to make some kind of Japanese bread thing that like have like dough that you mix it and stuff, and then it turns into a little triangle, and I forgot what that's called too. I'll look it up later. But yeah, it doesn't sound terribly exciting. It sounds actually a little bit more boring than the botanical gardens we went to last time, but still nice as a change of pace. And speaking of, tomorrow, Monday, I'm off because it's a public holiday, which is cool. Of course, now I think I'm done. Let's go home and look at video games. Time to talk about video games. So this week I bought several video games. Also, I'm going to talk about 3 games that I bought, but I haven't gotten them yet because I've ordered them. And I've bought them in a couple of different places. Well, I was in today. I was at Lake Biwa. I went to the Hardoff and the Book Off that I was in 3 months ago, and see if something new that I wanted popped up, so to speak. And a game that I saw 3 months ago that I hoped was still there, and it actually was. And that's coming up. And I was in Osaka on Saturday and for the Mega Man thing, and I went to the A2 there, found nothing, and I went to the Super Potato and found some things. Let's get started. First up, 2 PlayStation games. First is Klonoa, Kaze no Kuronoa, Door to Phantom Isle. It's it's Klonoa, the first game. I somewhat recently got the Game Boy Advance game. I don't have a history with the Klonoa series other than I played the Wii version some years ago, and I remember thinking it was okay. Not that great, actually. I didn't like that you didn't have a regular real attack. You had to jump on enemies and then use them as projectiles or something, but I mean, that sounds like a fine enough mechanic for a platform game, so I don't remember in retrospect why I didn't enjoy that, but I haven't really played the GBA one yet. But with this, it was cheap. It was 500 yen or something, so why not? Second PlayStation game is Tokimeki Memorial, Always With You. No, Forever With You. It's the not original dating simulator. I say not quite original because Nakayama Miho no Tokimeki High School came first, but that wasn't, on the other hand, that wasn't quite as solid as this. That was more of a adventure game with a romance vibe or something. This is probably one of the more original, that like get the girl type of thing with the whole relationship thing. I have like downloaded it and burned it before and tried to play it, but I remember I tried it and I was surprised by the fact that like whenever you do something, the game jumps ahead a few days or something. So somewhat intriguing to me. A little bit thanks to Game Center CX when I saw it the first time. And also there I learned that this was one of the first games that Koji Igarashi worked on, who later on went to reboot the Castlevania series. So kind of an interesting way to start for such a guy who makes such a dark series compared to this dating sim. Staying with Sony, but on another platform, it's Irregular Hunter X, or Maverick Hunter X, I think it's called in America. It's the remake of the first Mega Man X game on PSP. I've played this before on, I downloaded it to my PSP, but I'm collecting Mega Man now pretty much, so of course I had to get this. One day I'll probably also get Rockman, aka Mega Man Powered Up, even though I'm not too fond of that game. It's not that bad, it's not that good, whatever, but I got one game for Famicom Disk System, a game that I had a while ago, but I sold it, and now I'm getting it back. It was 700 yen, so not much to complain about. It's the obvious choice, Kid Icarus. I don't have a history with this game. I don't think I ever played it when I was a kid. When I did try it later on, it felt like I didn't like it that much, because I didn't like being restricted to just going up. I like my platformers to go, from side to side. But it still is it's a good game, and it's one of those that I'm supposed to own. I mean, it's Kid Icarus. I have to have it, and it was only 700 yen. Obviously, yes. Now, Super Nintendo, the game that at the heart of in Lake Biwa that I saw 3 months ago, was interested in, but I thought that maybe I'll find it cheaper somewhere else. It's Plok. This game is really common in US and Europe. It's really cheap, but in Japan it's not. In Japan it's a exotic, unique, Western importy type of game. So this was like 3,240 yen, if I don't misremember. However, that's actually a good price, because I've seen it. I saw it the first time 3 months ago, and then I've been keeping an eye out for it whenever I go to game stores. But when I did see it, I've seen it for like 5,000 yen and above sometimes. So it's like I was like nostalgic for that price of 3,000 something. So I was like, when I go there now, Lake Biwa, I was like, I'll just drop in and see if it's still there. I was like, it's probably not, because it's been 3 months, but it actually was still there, so I picked it up. The only problem, I guess, is that it has this sunburny thing or whatever, so like the backside is, this looks fine from here, but it's like more yellowy on that one, so it won't look as good when I'm having it in my box, but as long as the game works, that's fine. Next, I'll talk about the 3 games that I don't have here yet, because they're on their way. 2 of them from South Korea and 1 from Japan. The one from Japan is the Flintstones, Treasure of Sierra Madrock. I got it from Yahoo Auctions. And as far as I can remember from trying it on emulator, it's fine, standard, pretty good platformer. Next is 2 games that are both fake, so to speak. They're both reproductions. One I got because it only came out in the United States, and the other one I got because it's too expensive in Japan. The one that's too expensive is Majuo, or King of Demons, as it's sometimes known. I mean, it looks pretty cool though. It's like this action platformer with this guy who looks like he comes from a Lethal Weapon game or something, and he has guns, but he's like in this demon world, so there's this grotesque kind of monsters everywhere, and the cover, the guy on the cover looks like Peter Cushing, I think, playing Dracula, oddly enough, so it's all kind of jumbled with all monster motif, but looks interesting at least. And the last one of those is Metal Warriors. Only came out in the US. It looks like a very good robot side-scroller game, kind of like a cross between Cybernator and Mega Man X or something. I haven't actually tried it in emulator yet, but just from footage I've seen, it looks pretty good. So, looking forward to get that one. Last game for well, last game actually, also for the Super Nintendo is, I already revealed it, it's Sound Novel Tsukuru. I think Tsukuru, it's either like, it's some kind of, I think it's like a mix between Tsukuru, to make, and Tskur, like school, because it's like a game where you can make your own sound novels. And sound novels is that genre of games that I've gotten a little infatuated with lately. After I played Otogiriso and then started on Kamaitachi no Yoru and other of those, in this one you can make your own. You can also play like a one that's already pre-made, but making your own, yeah, I tried it in emulator once, and I actually like made one page of text pretty much, and it takes a long time to do it, and you can't plug in a keyboard or anything. But like, and there's a lot of stuff in the game that I have no idea what to do, so that's why I just made a text screen with a background. But at some point, yeah, I would actually want to try and make my own sound novel game. That would be pretty cool to do, just in kind of general project thing and for Japanese purposes. But I didn't know how to. I just got this for 400 yen. By the way, this is one of those huge cartridges that looks like the Super Game Boy. The same game, it has this little mini extra cartridge you put in for like which is kind of like a mission pack sort of. It adds a couple of faces to the puzzle thing. This one doesn't have any kind of add-on things like that. But here you were supposed to put a memory pack that similar to the one that's on the Satellaview, so you can like make your sound novel, put in the memory pack, I think anyway, save it to the memory pack, and then take out the memory pack and take it to your friend who also has the game, so they can play it. That's what I think anyway. But yeah, I felt after I got the game, I like realized that maybe I should have had it boxed instead, so I had the manual so I can look up stuff on how to do stuff. So I started looking for the game boxed online, but then I thought like, well, oh yeah, and when I went to Super Potato, I tried to find the game boxed, but I didn't find it. But what I did find was a strategy guide for 180 yen. And the strategy guide is bound to have exactly what the manual has and much more. So, perfect. So, with this, I can start trying to figure out how to make my own sound novel. And as I looked through the bookshelf, I found more books that I wanted. I actually bought, that was one, I have 4 more. 2 at Super Potato and 2 at A2, where I didn't find any games to buy, but I got books. Here's one, The Great Battle 4. I got this because it was slightly pricey at 1,200 yen, but I got it because when I played this the first time, I actually got this cartridge and it was very cheap, and then I got super stuck and I got pissed off and I sold the game. Then when I came here to Japan, I wanted to buy the game again. It was more pricey than I remember, way pricier. Like, I don't know, it's like 1,500 and up, and I thought it was going to be like 500 or something, but I did buy the game, and then, but I still have the same problem. Like, I have no idea how to fight those huge, the boss battles with the huge robot. I have no idea how those are controlled. I think also when I played the first time, I used like a password, skipped ahead, and then I came to a level that I just couldn't figure out where to go, what to do. And this is an obscure game, doesn't have guides and that kind of thing. But here is a guide, so with this I might be able to get to the end, which is my hope. Next is a book that I jumped at when I saw it, and it was only 500 yen, so I was like, yes, so much yes. It's Hamen no Violin Hiki. Love this game, and it's just, if nothing else, it's just lovely to look at. It's full color. The game has great graphics, of course, and it also has a bunch of manga-type illustrations scattered there from the manga artist. Like that, it's blurry, but anyway. Also, this game, because it doesn't have any save feature, any passwords, you have to play it in one sitting, and it's not a short game, which means it would be ideal to go through it and not waste so much time, and a guide would certainly help with that, and it has a bunch of maps and everything. So much, yes. Second, at that same store, I found another book that was just like, yep, that I'm getting that. It's Clock Tower. It's actually a game that I need a starter guide for because I have no idea. It's in Japanese, and this is one of those games I know already that I'm gonna have no idea what to do. So kind of a no-brainer, and it wasn't that expensive. I don't remember, like 700 yen or something. And these old strategy guides can be really expensive. I've seen regularly them go for like 3,000 yen and more. Usually Famicom, but anyway, they're pretty expensive. Lastly, a guidebook that isn't actually a guidebook. I thought it was a guidebook, and I actually hoped it was a guidebook, but I got something else. It's Kamaitachi no Yoru. The reason I wanted a guidebook for this is that this is actually it's a sound novel game again, but it's not a sound novel game that you just read through and you have your story and that's it, and you make a few choices here or there. This is like a murder mystery that unfolds as you play. Sort of, it's kind of like a primitive version of Until Dawn on PS4, pretty much. And if you make the wrong decision, you die, or a bunch of characters die, and you die eventually. So you get a game over, and then you have to restart from a chapter point. So like I felt I needed a strategy guide to kind of make the right choices without redoing all the time. But this turned out to be something else. 60% at least, 70 maybe. It's a novel. It's like a novelization of the game, and of course, it's all in Japanese, and it's going to be really, really hard. But maybe in a year or two, I can actually read this like a regular book. That would be pretty cool. And if you look from the other side, it's pretty much like a making of thing. It has like an interview with the creator guy, a little thing about the place where it was, the backgrounds were filmed, shot and stuff. The Knulp Hotel in the Nagano Prefecture. It's just pretty cool stuff, and I actually have plans, not that far gone plans, but slight plans to go to that, because it's like a ski lodge. I probably won't go there when there's actual snow there, but I want to go there, spend the night, and then like just kind of see it and try to see if I can interview anyone. I have the game with me, I'll have the book with me, and be like, investigating game history and stuff. It's pretty cool. Last thing is not game related at all, actually. It's a movie, a Japanese movie, and I want to see more Japanese movies, even if they, preferably if they have subtitles, but even if they don't have subtitles, I can still try, take it as a listening comprehension, pretty much. I have the Game Center CX movies since before, but now I got this one, which I saw in another store once before, which was really like intrigued me. You look at it and just laugh. It's Sex and the Pachinko. Obviously, it's a reference to Sex and the City. It even has the same kind of title, and it's glitters and everything. On the other hand, when you look at the girls and the back, and it's like, is this a porno? I get suspicious and excited, I guess. And it's only 74 minutes long, which, like, it's a movie, right? It should be 1.5 hours, so at least, I don't know, 88 minutes or something. But yeah, just 74. And unlike a lot of Japanese movies in Book Off, it was only 750 yen and not like 2,000, which some of them are, unfortunately, because I want to try them out. This is too intriguing not to try out to see what this is.